Hello and welcome to Kev's Electrical Workshop. Right, this is going to be episode 1 of a series of videos which hopefully is going to get a lot more of you into Arduino and Arduino programming. I have on the bench just a selection of some of my Arduinos that they do many more. Some which are bigger than these, some that are considerably smaller. But I'm just going to go through the range of what I've got here, and then I'm just going to concentrate on one. Right, from left to right, my first one here is the Arduino Uno. It's probably the most popular Arduino out there, and it's a lovely device for starting off at. You can pick these up on eBay, probably about £5. Next to it is a bit more powerful. This is the Arduino Mega, and this is also a very nice machine to program. Next to this is the Arduino Duo, and it's very similar, well, same form factor as the Mega. It is a 3.3 volt system. It's got more memory, it runs a damn sight more faster. But then you do run into a few issues with hardware connecting to it because of the 3.3 volts. So this one's not for everyone. Then next to that we have two Wi-Fi modules. We have a WeMOS module, which I've never had success with, and a Node MCU, which, yes, they are very good. They're actually very fast, very powerful. You don't even have to use the Wi-Fi section of it. You can just use the Arduino. But yeah, if you're doing anything to do with the Wi-Fi, things like that, this is definitely the baby to have. Right, and the final two, I have a little Pro Mini. As you see by my finger, it's about 2 finger spaces. And next to this one, I have a Arduino Trinket. Right, that's the lineup of my Arduinos, and what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to concentrate on the Arduino Mega. The coding will work on any of these that we do, but just for compatibility with modules and things like that, I'm going to play with this one. It is the most popular out there, so there's the most amount of hardware and things like that. What we do have is you can get modules to plug onto the top, and that they call these shields. And let me just grab a few. I don't even know what I've got here. I've got them. Right, here's a 4 relay shield, which, as you can, let's get rid of that. As you can see, these can just be stacked up on top. So now I've got an Arduino which can control 4 relays. Unplug that one a minute. I have another shield, which this one gives me Wi-Fi options. So I can turn any one of these into like the Node MCU. I mean, I could have a relay module and a Wi-Fi module, so now I could have a Wi-Fi controlled relay. Also, there's many things like we have screens, anything you can think of, input devices, output devices. You can normally get a shield. They actually cost peanuts, and a display like this is probably set you back about £4 on eBay. They're absolutely ridiculously cheap. So you can think of what you want to build and build it. Right. Without further ado, what I'm going to do is put everything aside. We are going to concentrate on this one. Let's get these out of view. Right, here we are, concentrating on the Arduino Uno. Right, you got power, Then we have 6 analog inputs and what was that? 14 digital outputs stroke inputs, so they could be digital inputs like switches and things like that. All the pins are programmable in the software, and once you've purchased your unit, you then need to go to the Arduino site and download the Arduino software, which I will show you next. Okay, here we are. We're actually on Google, and I've just put the word Arduino, and we have a few things. So I'm going to actually go to this one here. As you see, I've been here before. The Arduino software, which will take us to arduino.cc, obviously EN for English. It may be different if you're from a different country, and software. And we have the downloads. We have it for Windows 7 and newer. Oops, didn't want to click that. This one here is the install option. This one here is a zip file, so you don't have to install it. You can just unpack the zip file and run it. You can even get it in the Windows App Store. If you're on Linux, we have all these varieties, and for our Apple users we have the Mac OS version. So I'm just going to go and pick the installer. I mean, feel free to contribute to Arduino, but you can just do a download. As you see, we are downloading here. This particular version at the time of recording this is 115 megs in size, which will be with us very shortly. Right, so that's now with us. Let's open it. So it's saying I've already got it installed. Okay, I will run through this. I've already got it installed, but I'll uninstall this to start off with, and then reinstall it to show you how it is. Right, okay. I agree. There we go. The installation options, basically you have everything ticked, you know, usual things. You either tick next or install. And we're now extracting and doing the setup. Okay, right, the setup's now done, so I can hit close that. And right, now if I head over to my start button, I mean sometimes you'll find it here, but mine's actually appeared here because it was installed before. We just click this will open the old Arduino IDE, and I'm just going to maximize that. Right, the first thing we need to do, right, we're ready to start. First things first, we need to set up the Arduino Uno with the IDE. So we go to Tools and Board. We need to select the board we're using. So we go Arduino. At the moment it was set to this Uno, whatever it is. We're going to just select Arduino Uno. Next we need to do the pull. There's nothing really showing up here. Let me just plug it in and see where it associates itself to. Alright, just plugging in. Okay, the Arduino is now powered up. I don't know if you can see it on the video. There is a green power LED on. Now let's see where this is. Okay, it's saying there's our Arduino on COM port 8. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to load up an example sketch. So we go to examples, basic, and we're going to not try that one. We are going to go to examples, basic, blink. Now this is a very basic sketch, and it just blinks the onboard LED. Right, we've got this. I'm just going to quickly do an upload to see if we have communications. Right, pressing the upload, and it's upload, and it says done uploading. Right, let's have a look. And I don't know if you can see, but we have the onboard LED. I don't know how visible that is. The onboard LED is flashing. Let me just, can I turn off the light, or I hope that's showing up, but we've got a power LED, we have an onboard LED which is flashing orange once per second. Right, now this program, there's lots of comments, as you see. All this lot is comments. It does nothing. It's to help you out and things like that. Then we have the setup, so this is setting up the board, and then after that you come down and you basically run around the loop. This is the same with all the programming. You run from top to bottom, you go through the setup, and then once it's done its initial values, it will run around the loop here. So whatever we put in here will keep repeating. Right, in the setup, the first thing we've got to do is set the pins that we use. Obviously with an LED, this status is going to be an output. So we do a pin mode, and we have a command for the built-in LED, which is LED built in. We could, I can't remember which pin, I'll have a look in a minute. Actually define the pin here instead, it would do the same. Right, next we have the loop. So when the program executes, it ignores that, their comments. Then it says setup. Right, it sets the pin as an output, and then it comes down to the loop, and then it's going to spend the rest of its life forever going from top to bottom, and when it reaches the bottom it comes back up to the top. So going through this, and basically this is telling us we are digital write is you can change the state of the pin. So we're saying the state of the pin, we define the pin, so it's the pin with the LED in, and we're going to take it high, so we're going to take it up to 5 volts in this case. We're going to delay for 1000, which is 1000 milliseconds, so we just do nothing for 1000 milliseconds, and then after that we do the opposite and turn the 5 volts back to 0. We wait another 1000 milliseconds or 1 second, and then obviously we've reached the bottom, so we go back up to the top and we do it again. This carries on forever. Obviously if we actually change this to 500, so it goes on, so LED goes on, we wait for a second, goes off, but it only goes off for half a second. So if we do this, you will notice once it's uploaded, which is done now, that I don't know, I hope you can actually see this going on and off, but it's the LED's going on for a second, off for half a second, on for a second. This is a basic program, probably one of the most basic programs you can do, but it's quite nice. You can actually play around with that. Right, next we're going to do is find out what pin the built-in LED is on. So instead of having this built-in LED, we're going to change this for the pin. So instead of this variable, it's basically a variable, we're going to change it for the actual pin, which then leads us on to we can then control any pin on the board this way. Right, let's have a look on the board, see if we can get a clue. I've had a look up, it's actually on pin 13, so I don't know how well you can see this, probably not at all. Maybe I should put the microscope on. Let me just do that. I wonder if I can get a picture in picture. So hold on a minute. Right, we've got the microscope on, and as you can see the LED is flashing away quite merrily. It's on pin 13 now. As you can see, I think that's maybe a little resistor, which is probably for the LED. Right, now if we come to our sketch, let's now change this variable here, the built-in LED. We'll change that to 13. It's on pin 13. So we'll change this. Now if we compile and upload, what it should do is absolutely nothing, because it's exactly the same. It's going to pulse pin 13. As you see, it's done. It's doing exactly the same. But what this does lead us into now is we could change this to 12, 11, 10, or any of the 14 digital I/O pins, so we can have 14 different LEDs and we can program them to do what we like. Okay, we've got the LED flashing every second. Let's slow it down. I'm gonna make it every 5 seconds, so delay 5,000 and the off delay 5,000. Now if I upload this, it'll be on, the LED will come on for 5 seconds, will go off for 5 seconds, on for 5 seconds, off for 5 seconds. So that's brilliant, we can see that doing its thing. But sometimes you want to know a bit more. Maybe you haven't got an LED that's flashing on and off. Maybe you want the device to talk to you, and we can do this quite easily without the need of buying displays and that, because each Arduino's got an onboard serial port that it will talk to the IDE, normally for diagnostic purposes. It can be used to interact with the Arduino. So what we're going to do is, in our setup we have our digital output pins set. So we are now going to switch on the serial. So we do serial dot begin. It's highlighted in orange because it's a defined what would you call it, mnemonic. And then I need to define what speed we're going to actually talk on the serial board. I'm just going to be very simple and put 9600. Right, that's basically the Arduino's. So we've got the output pin, we've told it what it's doing, we've told it the serial port on the Arduino what it's doing. That's in the setup for when we run. Right, now we've got this, so let's have a look, see what we're doing. Let's space this out a bit. Right, so we take the digital pin high, and why don't we actually say we've done it? And we do that by doing serial dot print. Now if we just keep it as print, it doesn't do a carriage return. So if we do print ln, so that's basically, it's going to print whatever we're going to put here, and then it will do a carriage return. I'll put a bracket, we'll open the quotes, the LED is on. Close quotes, close the brackets, and that's the end of the command, so semicolon. Now what I'm going to do is usual Windows copy and paste. Now we know at this point the LED switch is off because we take the pin low, so we can say the LED is off. If OFF. Right, so basically we've set up what speed we want the serial port, and we're just giving comments back at the status. Now let's upload that. Right, that's uploaded, that's running. You can see the LED is still flashing 5-second intervals. Right, now if we go to the top right here, we have this thing that looks like a little magnifying glass, and it's a serial monitor. So if we click this, quite often we'll have the wrong baud rate. We already know, because we set here, that we're looking for 9600. So 9600, and hopefully you can see every time it changes it will tell us what it's changed to. Okay, well that's enough for this episode, and I mean, get involved, play with it, alter things. On the next episode we'll bring in some sensors and things like that and make the Arduino more interactive. Okay, many thanks for watching.